You probably watched a lot of videos around how to make more profit on your Airbnb business, but guys, in this video, I'm going to share you factual information. Remember, we probably worked with over hundreds and hundreds of operators over the last few months. If you go check us out on Grow Airbnb, you'll see all our reviews and stuff. And I really genuinely try and understand a lot of time our guest behaviors, because that's, at the end of the day, they're the people who's going to make you profit in your properties. I really understand what kind of brand do they look for, and more importantly, at the end of the day, that's how you're going to make more profit. But in this video, I want to talk six simple ways, nice and simple, that you can implement in your business and be able to make profit. I guarantee if you follow this, it will work. Now, how many times have people said you optimize your pricing? Now, there'd be enough people who says that, but at the end of the day, they don't tell you exactly what to do. Firstly, what does it mean by optimizing pricing? There's two ways on an Airbnb algorithm you can do that. If you watch some of my previous video, I've shown you how to put a monthly discount. I've shown you if there's a gap. A lot of time we've got clients who's got a big booking, and then you've got, let's say, 10 days gap. You want to optimize your pricing. Now, there's numbers of ways you can do it. One, you can put some set rules for those 10 days. It could be decreasing by 2%. There's an algorithm you can kick in on Airbnb, obviously pushes you to a better ranking. You can manually go down and drop price by £1. At the end of the day, guys, if you think about pricing, when you're putting some information in your Airbnb, Airbnb then has an algorithm that needs to put you forward. So two ways to optimize your pricing is adding set rules, certain discount on a certain dates only, so you don't mess up your calendar. And lastly, I've got clients who have now got VAs in their team, have got people in their team who actually tell their team to go and drop £1 every day. At the end of the day, we're pushing algorithm. By doing that, you're going to rank better and get seen and potentially get chance of getting booked. Now, second way is think about enhancing your listing presentation. Now and then I see a lot of listing going, oh my God, I look at it and I'll go, wow, that looks amazing. Like, the photo looks amazing. I want to stay there. I look at their wording, it's amazing because they really try and represent the property. They really try and represent the area. They really try and represent the feature of the property. I've done a several video previously where you can really understand how to list property. But for me, if you think about enhancing your listing, you've got to think about your guest behavior, because if you think about who your ideal guest is this weekend, having the word monthly on your title or your description is not going to help, because that person who only wants to book last minute this weekend for a trip, a leisure trip, seeing that monthly, they potentially think, oh, they're probably just looking for monthly guests, so we'll skip that. We'll go. It's got to be really understanding your calendar. I'm a big fan of calendar management with the right listing. We found 7 ways to list property and enhancing listing on Airbnbs and booking.com. And if you find 1 or 2, that's going to work perfect for you too. Third way is to have exceptional customer services and customer experience. One of the lessons I learned when I worked with one of my largest clients in 2021 was they've had over 150 properties. Property were starting to do better. They were getting all the bookings, but every time I went in their account, the reviews weren't that great. Now, it could be numbers of reasons. It could be property not being up to standard. It could be location. It could be communication from you, between you as a host to the guest. But you can all be streamlined and actually having a good conversation. How do you go about doing that? I get asked a lot of time. I feel like, when you go into that scale, you've got to check in with your client. Do not get scared of them complaining, because if you don't ask them now, after they've checked in, they are going to complain it later. So one of the things we've found with customer experience is making sure that I look at my client's account, and if I see my clients are not following up their clients, especially when we have monthly guests, we attract clients bigger bookings. So we can't just send them a check-in information. We need to ask them, how's their first night stay? They've checked in for 24 hours. And you effectively tell them to have the best stay ever. by doing that, you're checking in, you're giving them the good experience. Secondly, it's when a complaint comes up, because that's when it's how you deal with it. It makes a massive difference. Now, being an Airbnb host, and if your guest is from Airbnb, I've always decided, the same property can be effectively the best property for someone they've stayed with you, but then the next guest would probably end up going complaining, saying they've got a bad pillow, they don't like the pillowcase, and all that kind of stuff, right? So to balance it out, it's the communication, making sure that you take them back into Airbnb funnel, or where the messaging techniques are, and make sure you are having a clear communication so Airbnb can actually see it. Overall, guys, look, it is your business, and how you deal with your clients, how you deal, every businesses have after services, after cares, after check-in cares, like we do with major hotel brands. We're no different, so let's take time to make sure they enjoy their stay, but they enjoy your customer experience too. The fourth is offer additional services if you'd like. Now, I've got some amazing clients who like to treat their guests, especially if they're staying for long term, going and buying them sugars, salt. If your property doesn't have those little things, whatever they need for the first 2-3 days, literally, a bit of oil, whatever you can to give them as a hamper. It might cost you $20 to $25 max, but it makes a massive difference. I've had one client who's actually put, the hamper and then a welcome card. Massive difference, guys. It's not costing you a lot, especially when you think about it. When you're making that monthly booking, you're looking at $1,000 plus a month on profit. When you're doing that kind of number, you going and spending a little bit of money to do those kind of stuff will really get customer going, right? The additional services, the amenities, that's what's going to help. I have got a lot of clients in the UK also have bigger properties with hot tubs. It's important, no, but does it give them an extra value, especially if it's a monthly guest? They're gonna love it, right? Yes, you've got to pass over the charges to the guest because it can be expensive to clean it and maintain it. But if they're willing to use it and we're happy, why not? So think about the out-of-box stuff you can do as an operator, as an Airbnb host. The fifth is implement the minimum night strategy. Now, if you have worked with me and if you're a client of mine, you probably know we have changed your calendar at one point to 7 nights minimum booking if it wasn't messed up, right? And one of the biggest thing I've learned is, if you think about making more profit, your minimum night stay, if it increases, right? So we take a lot of clients from 2-3 nights minimum average stay to 7 nights or more. Now, what does that say to you in terms of the management cost, which is your housekeeping? 2-3 night stays, you've got 2 guests, let's say 3 nights each, that's whatever, let's say $100 a month on clean, that's $200 a month, right? If you have a guest who stays with you for a month, as well as in our profit pricing strategy, I make sure my client actually put 2 costs of housekeeping team in their actual figure so that they don't have to worry about paying. They make it look like they've given it for free, and eventually the length of stay makes a massive, huge difference on making you more profit. Guys, this is the best way I've seen a lot of my clients, alongside the great branding and marketing, making a lot of money. A lot of money in a difference of serving a lot of clients versus serving one client, because of having smaller nights, stays, to actually having a long-term stay. So please make sure you think about it and make sure you start implementing strategy to increase your minimum length of stay. And lastly, to maximize profit, you must think about optimizing your pricing and operational costs, i.e., I know a lot of people who has hired their first housekeeping team that the cleaners end up telling them, oh yeah, it's going to cost you for a 1-bed apartment £60 a turnover. And I'm like, hold on a second, what's their hourly rate? Well, the hourly rate's only £15 an hour. Well, a 1-bedroom, regardless, shouldn't cost anything more than 2 hours of good clean, right? Again, depending if it's a deep clean, a lot longer, but if it's a quick, nice turnover, it should be 2 hours. Now, for me, that's a £30 cost, where my client have decided to pay them 60 because that's what they think is the right amount to pay. So by understanding this, if you think about then again the times by, you know, on Airbnb you feature a price, so $60, right? If that's what you charge for cleaning fee. People make money on cleaning fee because then you go back to the cleaner and you only offer them $30. So operationally, you need to start minimizing costs, especially if you're in a location where you know you're getting a lot of turnaround with 2 or 3 night stay, especially in high season. You need to start minimizing your operational housekeeping cost, as an example, maximizing the potential of charging cleaning fee and actually making profit on the cleaning fee itself, which, you know, for me, if it's a $30 per visit, you're making profit. If it's 10 cleans throughout the month on high season, that's $300 back into your pocket. And that's something that's very, very crucial. Rather than you actually paying for it, you're making more money in the business. So guys, I hope you enjoyed another video to understand about how to maximize your profit, especially this 6 ways you can go and implement today in your short-term rental business. And thank you so much for watching another Grow Airbnb video. Recently, I did a video around guests and their booking behavior. One of the best videos that I personally have created. I know that because nobody has done it. My team took a lot of time creating that as well. So please make sure if you've got time, go and watch that. But for now, thank you so much for watching another Grow Airbnb video, and we will be back with another video soon.